Welcome to ZoomInData, your go-to channel for in-depth data engineering, analytics, and modern cloud technology interview preparation. In this video, we dive deep into the top 25 monitoring and logging in Microsoft Fabric interview questions for 2025, updated as of early 2026. Perfect for data engineers, administrators, governance leads, and anyone preparing for Fabric capacity management, troubleshooting, compliance, or observability roles. We cover the centralized monitoring hub, activity logs, Spark UI, SQL query insights, capacity metrics, Azure Monitor integration, alerting, audit trails, real-time workload monitoring, cost tracking, root cause analysis, and best practices, all explained in clear, interview-ready technical language to help you confidently ace your next interview. 1. How does Microsoft Fabric support monitoring? Fabric provides a centralized monitoring hub that aggregates metrics, logs, and execution details across all workloads in a workspace. Real-time and historical views track item runs, durations, resource consumption, and status for pipelines, notebooks, data flows, and queries. Capacity Metrics app offers tenant-level visibility into consumption units, throttling, auto-scaling, and overload events. Integration with Azure Monitor enables advanced querying, dashboards, and long-term retention of Fabric telemetry. 2. What logging capabilities are available in Fabric? Activity logs capture all user and system actions, create, edit, delete, run, with timestamps, identities, and item details. Runtime logs for pipelines and Spark jobs include step-level durations, errors, and output messages. Query logs in Warehouse and SQL endpoints record execution plans, durations, and resource usage. Custom logging in notebooks and scripts via print, display, or external syncs enhances diagnostic detail. 3. How does Fabric monitor pipeline execution? Monitoring Hub displays pipeline runs with overall status, duration, and drill down to individual activity metrics. Activity-level logs show start, end times, input, output rows, and error messages for copy, notebook, or script tasks. Run history supports rerun, debugging, and comparison of previous executions. Alerts notify on failures or long-running pipelines via email or Teams integration. 4. How does Fabric monitor Spark workloads? Spark UI accessible from notebook sessions provides executor, stage, task, and shuffle metrics in real time. Monitoring Hub aggregates Spark job durations, resource usage, and stage breakdowns across runs. Resource Monitor pane shows live driver, executor memory, CPU, and shuffle read, write. Advisor APIs and logs identify spills, skew, or suboptimal configurations for tuning. 5. How does Fabric monitor SQL workloads? Query insights in Warehouse and SQL endpoints list executions with durations, rows processed, and plans. SHOWPLAN_XML and statistics reveal optimization decisions and bottlenecks. Monitoring Hub tracks concurrent queries, throttling, and resource consumption. Long-running query alerts and historical trends support proactive management. 6. How does Fabric support performance monitoring? Capacity Metrics app visualizes consumption units over time with time point drill down for overload analysis. Monitoring Hub provides item-level performance trends, runtimes, success rates. Spark and SQL-specific views highlight stage, query bottlenecks and resource contention. Autoscaling events logged for correlation with performance spikes. 7. How does Fabric detect failures and issues? Activity status: succeeded, failed, cancelled, flagged immediately in Monitoring Hub with error details. Runtime logs capture stack traces, exception messages, and failed activity outputs. Capacity throttling and overload events surfaced in Metrics app with affected operations. Anomaly detection via data activator on metrics like failure rates or durations. 8. How does Fabric support alerting and notifications? Data activator monitors patterns in logs, metrics and triggers email, Teams, or Power Automate actions. Built-in alerts for pipeline failures, long-running queries, or capacity overload via admin settings. Custom KQL queries on EventHouse logs enable real-time alerting on streaming issues. Notification channels configurable per workspace or tenant. 9. How does Fabric integrate with Azure Monitor? Activity and diagnostic logs stream to Azure Monitor logs, log analytics, for KQL-based querying and dashboards. Metrics export to Azure Monitor metrics for time series analysis and alerts. Integration with Application Insights supports end-to-end tracing for custom applications. Long-term retention and cross-service correlation enhance enterprise observability. 10. How does Fabric log user activities? Unified Activity Log records all user actions, view, edit, run, share, with identity, timestamp, and item context. Logs searchable in Monitoring Hub or exported to Azure Monitor for advanced filtering. Granularity includes parameter values used in parameterized runs. Audit integration with Purview for compliance-focused activity tracking. 11. How does Fabric manage audit logs? Audit logs capture administrative and data access actions with immutable retention up to 10 years via Azure Monitor. Purview Audit provides searchable views and export for compliance reporting. Tenant settings control logging level and retention duration. Integration with Microsoft 365 Audit for unified organizational visibility. 12. How does Fabric track data access patterns? Usage metrics in Power BI datasets and reports track views, refreshes, and user interactions. Lineage combined with activity logs reveals who accessed which data through which items. Purview usage insights aggregate access patterns across Fabric estate. Capacity metrics correlate access with resource consumption trends. 13. How does Fabric support troubleshooting? Detailed runtime logs with stack traces and activity outputs in Monitoring Hub. Spark UI and SQL query plans provide deep diagnostics for performance issues. Rerun capabilities with same parameters reproduce failures for debugging. Lineage tracing identifies upstream causes of downstream errors. 14. How does Fabric manage error diagnostics? Error messages include inner exceptions, activity IDs, and correlation IDs for tracing. Monitoring Hub centralizes errors across workloads with filters and export. Integration with Azure Monitor enables advanced KQL queries on error patterns. Data activator alerts on recurring or critical error conditions. 15. How does Fabric monitor real-time analytics workloads? Event streams data insights show ingestion rates, backlog, latency, and errors in real time. Eventhouse monitoring tracks query durations, concurrent sessions, and extent health. KQL control commands show operations, reveal cluster diagnostics. Capacity isolation ensures streaming metrics separate from batch workloads. 16. How does Fabric track system health? Capacity Metrics app monitors throttling, auto-scaling, and overload events tenant-wide. Workspace health indicators flag inactive or problematic items. Background operation smoothing logged for maintenance impact. Integration with Azure Status for platform-level health notifications. 17. How does Fabric monitor capacity usage? Capacity Metrics app provides interactive charts of consumption units over time with drill down. Time point analysis breaks down overload periods by workload and operation. Forecasting and SKU estimator guide scaling decisions. Alerts on sustained high usage or throttling thresholds. 18. How does Fabric manage log retention? Activity logs retained 30 days in Monitoring Hub, extended via Azure Monitor Workspaces. Diagnostic settings route logs to storage accounts or log analytics for custom retention up to 10 years. Purview Audit supports compliance-driven long-term retention. Workspace admins control export destinations and policies. 19. How does Fabric support compliance reporting? Exportable activity and audit logs serve as evidence for regulatory audits. Purview Compliance Manager maps Fabric controls to frameworks. Lineage and access reports prove data handling compliance. Automated log routing ensures tamper-proof retention. 20. How does Fabric integrate monitoring with governance? Purview Lineage and Usage Insights combine with Monitoring Hub for governed observability. Endorsement coverage and sensitivity label metrics in Purview Hub. Activity logs feed Purview auditing for stewardship enforcement. Alerts on ungoverned or high-risk activities. 21. How does Fabric monitor cost usage? Capacity Metrics app tracks consumption units with cost estimation based on SKU pricing. Time point breakdown attributes costs to specific workloads and operations. Idle period detection highlights savings opportunities. Budget alerts notify on approaching thresholds. 22. How does Fabric support root cause analysis? Lineage tracing correlates downstream failures to upstream issues. Correlation IDs link related activities across pipelines and jobs. Spark stage, task logs pinpoint skew or spills. Time point analysis identifies concurrent operations causing throttling. 23. How does Fabric optimize monitoring performance? Aggregated views and sampling reduce query load on log storage. Indexed logs in Azure Monitor enable fast KQL searches. Workspace-level filtering limits scope for faster navigation. Caching of frequent metric queries in Capacity app. 24. How does Fabric support enterprise observability? Unified logs across Fabric, Power BI, and Azure services in Azure Monitor. Custom dashboards and workbooks for cross-workload views. SIEM integration via event hubs or storage exports. Multi-tenant isolation with tenant-specific log partitioning. 25. What are best practices for monitoring and logging? Route all logs to Azure Monitor Log Analytics for long-term retention and advanced querying. Set alerts on critical failures and throttling. Use Monitoring Hub daily for workspace health. Leverage Capacity Metrics app for cost and scaling decisions. Integrate Data Activator for proactive notifications. Tag high-priority items for focused monitoring. Regularly review lineage and audit logs. Combine with Purview for governance-aligned observability. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you prepare for your Microsoft Fabric interview, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your network. Don't forget to subscribe to ZoomInData and hit the bell icon for more in-depth data engineering, analytics, and cloud technology interview prep videos every week. Drop your questions or topic requests in the comments. Let's zoom in on your success together.